Have you ever felt like you're waking up from a long dream? Like the world you once knew suddenly seems different, and you're seeing things for the first time? If this sounds familiar, you might be going through what many call a spiritual awakening. It's a profound shift in consciousness, a journey from living on autopilot to becoming truly aware. But what's really happening during this process? And what are the hidden forces that guide us along the way? Let's dive deep into this incredible transformation. A spiritual awakening often begins with a feeling of deep dissatisfaction. Maybe you have the perfect job, a loving family, a nice home, but there's still a persistent feeling that something is missing. This is your soul knocking on the door, trying to get your attention. It's us whispering that there's more to life than just the material world you've been focused on. This feeling is the first crack in the illusion, the first sign that you're ready for something more. For many, this initial phase is triggered by a significant life event, a loss, a breakup, a health scare, or even a moment of incredible joy. These catalyst events shake us out of our comfortable routines and force us to question everything. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What is the meaning of all this? These questions aren't just philosophical musings. They are the very engines of spiritual growth. They signal that your ego, the part of you that identifies with your job, your possessions, and your social status, is starting to loosen its grip. As the awakening deepens, you might experience what's often called the dark night of the soul. This sounds scary, but it's a natural and necessary part of the process. It's a period where old beliefs, fears, and unresolved emotional wounds come to the surface to be healed. You might feel lost, confused, and isolated. It can feel like your entire world is falling apart, and in a way, it is. The old you, the one built on societal conditioning and external validation, is dissolving to make way for your true, authentic self. It's a purification process. Remember, if you're going through this, you are not alone, and seeking support from a therapist or a trusted spiritual guide can make all the difference. So, what are the hidden forces at play during this incredible journey? Many spiritual traditions talk about a universal consciousness, a divine intelligence, or simply the universe. Think of it as a vast, interconnected web of energy and information that we are all a part of. This isn't something out there. It's within you and all around you. During an awakening, you start to become more sensitive to this energy. One of the most powerful forces you'll encounter is synchronicity. These are the meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. You think of an old friend, and they call you a minute later. You're struggling with a problem, and you stumble upon a book or a video that has the exact answer you need. These aren't just happy accidents. They are signs from the universe, little winks and nods to let you know you're on the right path. They are breadcrumbs left by this hidden intelligence, guiding you forward. When you start noticing synchronicities, pay attention. The universe is trying to communicate with you. Another hidden force is your own intuition. We all have it. It's that gut feeling, that quiet inner voice that knows the truth. For most of our lives, we're taught to ignore it in favor of logic and reason. But during a spiritual awakening, your intuition becomes much louder and clearer. It's your personal compass, your direct line to your higher self and the universal consciousness. Learning to trust your intuition is one of the most important skills you can develop on this path. It will guide you to the right people, the right places, and the right decisions, even when your logical mind can't make sense of it. You might also become aware of energy. Not just the physical energy you get from food and sleep, but the subtle energy that flows through all living things. You might start to feel the energy of a room or the vibes people give off. You may become more sensitive to nature, feeling a deep sense of connection when you're in a forest or by the ocean. This is you tuning into the life force energy that animates everything. Practices like meditation, yoga, and spending time in nature can help you strengthen this connection and learn to work with this energy for your own healing and growth. As you navigate this path, You'll also encounter what many call your spirit guides or guardian angels. These are non-physical beings of light and love who are here to support and guide you. You don't have to believe in a specific religion to connect with them. They are benevolent forces, part of that universal intelligence assigned to help you on your journey. You can communicate with them through prayer, meditation, or simply by talking to them in your mind. Ask for their help, ask for signs, and be open to receiving their guidance. They can't interfere with your free will, but if you invite them in, their support can be incredibly powerful. Let's talk about the ego for a moment. The ego is not your enemy, but its role changes during an awakening. The ego is the part of your identity tied to the physical world. It's your sense of I. I am a doctor, I am a parent, I am successful. Before awakening, we often let the ego run the show. But the journey of awakening is about realizing that you are not your ego. You are the consciousness that is aware of the ego. The hidden forces at play help you in this process of ego death, or more accurately, ego transcendence. It's not about destroying the ego, but putting it in its rightful place as a tool for navigating the 3D world, not as the master of your soul. This process recalibrates your entire being. You'll notice your values start to shift dramatically. The things that used to be important, like climbing the corporate ladder, owning the latest gadgets, or seeking approval from others, start to feel empty. Instead, you find yourself craving authenticity, connection, peace, and purpose. You're no longer content with just existing. You want to live a life that is aligned with your soul. This shift can sometimes be challenging for your relationships. Friends and family who are still operating from the old paradigm might not understand the changes you're going through. They might think you've become strange or withdrawn. This is a crucial time to find your soul tribe, people who are on a similar path, who get what you're going through, and who can support you without judgment. The universe will help you find them, often through those wonderful synchronicities we talked about. So, how do you navigate this profound transformation? The key is surrender. This doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to control everything. It means trusting the process, even when it's confusing and uncomfortable. Trust that these hidden forces of the universe, your intuition, your guides are leading you exactly where you need to be. Practice mindfulness and stay present in the moment. Instead of worrying about the future or regretting the past, focus on the now. This is where your power lies. Embrace curiosity. Be like a child again, seeing the world with fresh eyes. Read books, watch videos, listen to podcasts about spirituality, consciousness, and metaphysics. But always check in with your own intuition. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is your unique journey, and there is no one-size-fits-all map. Finally, practice self-compassion. A spiritual awakening is not a race. There will be days when you feel enlightened and connected, and days when you feel lost and human again. That's okay. Be kind to yourself through it all. You are unlearning a lifetime of conditioning and remembering the magnificent, divine being that you have always been. It's the most challenging and most rewarding journey you will ever take. In essence, a spiritual awakening is a homecoming. It's a return to your true self. The hidden forces at play are not external puppeteers pulling the strings. They are aspects of a loving, intelligent universe that you are an integral part of. They are working in harmony with your own soul's desire to wake up. So if you're feeling that inner call, listen. Trust the synchronicities. Follow your intuition. You are being guided on the most incredible adventure of all, the journey back to you. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration today. If this resonated with you, please share your own experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content on this beautiful journey of awakening. See you in the next one. Within the intelligence systems that govern spiritual advancement on this planet, there exists a classification framework that most souls never reach. The majority of awakening individuals are cataloged as seekers, those moving toward light, growing, evolving, but still in the early phases of their development. A smaller number are classified as carriers, souls who have accumulated enough light and wisdom to hold frequency for others in their immediate environment. But there is a third classification, one that is rarely activated, one that requires a specific convergence of pressure, integrity, ancestral clearing, and conscious moral choice under maximum duress. That classification is what certain traditions call a pillar, and you have just been reclassified. The beings assigned to monitor frequency elevation on this planet do not use this term lightly. A pillar is not someone who is simply spiritually aware, or intuitively gifted, or emotionally intelligent. A pillar is someone whose character has been stress-tested at the foundational level and found to be structurally sound. Someone whose integrity does not fluctuate based on circumstance, whose compassion does not require reciprocation, whose commitment to truth does not bend under social pressure. These souls are considered rare. They are also considered, by forces that operate in opposition to light, to be genuinely dangerous. Not violent, not aggressive, but dangerous in the way that a single candle is dangerous in a room that has been kept dark for centuries. You have been recognized at this level, and that recognition has consequences that are about to become very visible in your physical world. What I'm about to tell you now is not metaphor. It is not poetic language designed to make you feel special in a superficial way. This is an account of what occurred in the unseen realm at the precise moment your most recent act of integrity was completed. There is a concept across nearly every major spiritual tradition of divine witness, the idea that certain human actions are so aligned with the original intention of creation that they draw the direct attention of the highest levels of consciousness in existence. Your recent choice drew that attention. In the ancient texts, there are descriptions of moments when the heavenly court goes quiet, when the constant movement of cosmic administration pauses, because something has occurred in the human realm that demands full presence. Archangels, those vast and ancient intelligences assigned to the protection and advancement of human souls, turned their attention to your coordinates, not with surprise, with recognition, because they have been involved in your story longer than you know, have been quietly clearing obstacles from your path, have been working in the background of your life to ensure that when this moment arrived, you would have just enough strength to make the right choice. And you did. And in the moment you did, something was witnessed at the highest level. A soul choosing its mission over its comfort. A soul choosing truth over approval. A soul demonstrating, under real conditions and real cost, that it is ready. God, by whatever name you know that presence, saw it. And what God sees, God responds to. There are moments in the life of a chosen soul when observation ends and activation begins. When the watching is complete and the decree is issued. When the universe stops measuring your readiness and starts moving resources into alignment with your next assignment. That moment for you is now. What is being decreed over your life in this season is not a small adjustment. It is not a minor upgrade to your circumstances. It is a fundamental realignment of your trajectory, a course correction at the root level that will begin expressing itself in ways both dramatic and subtle over the coming days and weeks. The decree being issued speaks to your true identity being made legible in the world. Up until now, you have operated in a kind of spiritual anonymity, your real nature hidden beneath the ordinary surface of your daily life, visible only to those with the discernment to recognize what they were looking at. That anonymity is ending. The universe is now conspiring, actively and with full intelligence, to place you in rooms, relationships, and circumstances that match the frequency of who you actually are, rather than who your history suggested you might become. Doors that were sealed are being unsealed. Connections that were being held in reserve are being released. Opportunities that required you to be exactly who you proved yourself to be are now being routed toward you. The decree is simple in its language and infinite in its implication. This soul is ready. Release what belongs to them. Clear the path. Activate the mission. What God has decreed over you cannot be reversed by any human opposition, any delay, any disappointment, or any force that has worked against you up until this moment. You have spent most of your life feeling like you didn't fully belong to the world as it was presented to you, like there was a gap between who you were in your deepest interior and who the world seemed to expect you to be. You adapted. You learned the languages of different environments. You wore versions of yourself that were socially functional. But underneath all of that, there was always this irreducible core, this something that refused to be fully domesticated by circumstance, this ancient knowing that what you were here to do was larger and more serious than anything currently on your schedule. That feeling was not ego. It was not delusion. It was memory. Because the truth about who you are reaches back further than this lifetime. You are what the oldest traditions describe as an ancient soul, a consciousness that has been in circulation through human experience long enough to have accumulated a very specific kind of wisdom. Not book wisdom, not intellectual wisdom, but the wisdom that only comes from having chosen integrity in darkness, having loved without guarantee, having held truth in environments designed to break it. You are also what many traditions call a celestial warrior, not a being defined by conflict, but one whose very presence in a room shifts the spiritual atmosphere, whose commitment to truth disrupts systems of deception simply by existing within them. You came into this lifetime with a specific assignment already encoded in your soul, and the challenges you faced, the delays, the pressures, the periods of isolation were never punishment. They were the training ground for a warrior being prepared for something that required absolute character. Every soul that reaches the level of activation you are currently experiencing is given, or more accurately, reminded of, a mission. Because the mission was never assigned to you from the outside. It was written into your original design before you entered this body, before you chose this family, before you agreed to the specific set of experiences that would shape you into the instrument you are now becoming. Your mission in this season and in the seasons ahead is not complicated in its essence, though it will be vast in its expression. You are here to anchor, to be a fixed point of integrity, compassion, and truth in a world that is moving through enormous instability. You are here to demonstrate, through the living evidence of your own life, that it is possible to remain whole in a fragmenting world, that it is possible to lead with wisdom rather than fear, that it is possible to build something real and lasting on a foundation of genuine values rather than performance and manipulation. You are here to hold frequency for others who are close to their own breakthrough, but who need to see someone ahead of them demonstrating that the path is real. Your presence in certain spaces is the permission that others have been waiting for to finally become who they actually are. Your willingness to be seen as someone who operates differently, who chooses differently, who values differently, is a beacon that will draw toward you exactly the people, communities, and movements that need what only you carry. The mission is not a burden. It is the thing your soul has been aching to do since the moment you arrived here. Because of what has been decreed, because of the activation that is now underway, the material dimension of your life is beginning to reorganize itself around your true frequency. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law of correspondence operating at full capacity. The principle that when the inner architecture of a soul is aligned with its true mission, the outer world must eventually reflect that alignment. You are going to begin noticing it in small ways first. Unexpected conversations that opened doors you had stopped believing were available to you. Resources appearing through channels you didn't plan or engineer. People entering your life who carry pieces of the puzzle you've been trying to solve for years. Situations that seemed permanently blocked beginning to move with a suddenness that surprises even you. Financial flow that was restricted beginning to find new pathways toward you. Health that was depleted beginning to restore itself as the stress of misalignment lifts. Relationships that were draining you, either transforming or gracefully exiting to make space for connections that actually nourish and advance you. None of this is happening because you finally figured out the right strategy, or said the right affirmation, or followed the right system. It is happening because the universe is honoring a soul that honored its own integrity when it was costly to do so. Divine support is not theoretical. It is practical. It shows up in parking spaces and phone calls and unexpected checks and conversations that change everything. It shows up in the quiet removal of obstacles you didn't even know were in your way. Your life is being reorganized from the inside out, and what you see externally over the coming weeks is going to reflect a power that has been building in you for a very long time. One of the most significant things that happens when a soul reaches your level of activation is that the effect of your presence in the world stops being contained to your immediate circle. There is a phenomenon that the ancient traditions described in various ways, but that modern understanding might call entrainment, the process by which a stronger, more coherent frequency naturally pulls surrounding frequencies into alignment with it. You have been doing this your entire life without fully understanding it. People have always been drawn to you in ways they couldn't explain. They've shared things with you they've never told anyone else. They've made changes in their lives after spending time in your presence, sometimes changes they could indirectly attribute to anything you said, but that seemed to emerge from simply being near you. That effect is about to amplify significantly. As your own frequency stabilizes at this new level of activation, the radius of your influence expands. People in your orbit are going to begin waking up, not because you preached at them, or pushed them, or tried to convince them of anything, but because the coherence of your presence creates a kind of permission field and energetic environment in which their own dormant truth feels safe enough to surface. You are going to watch people in your life begin to make different choices, begin to ask deeper questions, begin to reach for things they had given up on, and they won't always know why. They'll attribute it to something internal, some sudden clarity or motivation. But you will understand that what shifted for them was proximity to a soul that had been fully activated. You are becoming a catalyst, and catalysts change everything they touch. You need to understand that you are not alone in this activation. Across this planet, right now, in cities and villages and quiet corners of every nation, there are souls going through exactly what you are going through. Souls who felt the same inexplicable pressure over the past months. Souls who faced the same kinds of moral tests and chose integrity when compromise was easier. Souls who woke up this morning with that same hum in their chest, that same sense that something enormous was shifting beneath the surface of their ordinary life. These souls do not all know each other yet. They do not share the same religion or culture or language or background, but they share a frequency. They share a mission. And they are being activated in this same window of time because what is coming for this planet requires not one exceptional soul standing alone, but a network, a distributed field of anchored, integrity-tested, mission-aligned individuals whose collective frequency creates a foundation stable enough to hold what is about to shift globally. Some estimates within certain streams of spiritual intelligence suggest that the number of souls currently in this activation window runs into the tens of thousands worldwide. And the network, though largely invisible right now, is real. You are going to begin encountering these souls. Some will appear in your physical life. Others will reach you through unexpected digital connections. You will recognize each other not through credentials or claims, but through the immediate resonance of two frequencies that were designed to find each other. The network is assembling. You are a node within it, and your activation strengthens every other soul in the field. So here is what you do with everything you've just received. You don't dismiss it as inspiration that feels good in the moment and fades by tomorrow. You sit with it. You let it land in the deepest part of you where truth registers not as an idea, but as a knowing. And then you move accordingly. You move through the rest of this day and this week and this season with the full awareness that you are being observed, supported, and prepared for something that is larger than anything you've allowed yourself to imagine until now. Every small choice matters. Every moment of integrity is a qualification. Every act of compassion is a credential. Every time you choose truth over performance, you are demonstrating readiness for what's next. If this message confirms something you already felt in your spirit, let the universe know you received it. Comment 777 below right now, because that number carries a specific frequency of divine alignment. And when you type it, you are declaring that you are awake, you are aware, and you are ready. Share this with someone in your life who has been going through unexplained pressure and delays, because they may be in the same activation window and they need to hear this today. And stay connected, because what is coming in the next messages builds directly on what was just activated in you. Your season of preparation is ending. Your season of release is beginning. The evaluation is complete. The assignment is real. And you, ancient soul, celestial warrior, chosen one, are exactly where you were always meant to be.